I was saying to Matthew earlier today about the brutality of being on the path of awakening and coming into relationship with your soul. And part of the sacrifice and the disillusionment that comes with that is the squishing of our preferences and having to let go of our preferences if we actually want to move with creation, if we want to come into coherence with life. All of our little egoic preferences and ideals about how life should go and how we should feel and what we should experience, all of those sweet little ideas have to die for us to grow and mature and become more of ourselves.
Yeah, for me it's a case of shedding skins. It feels like I'm asked over and over again to take off an identity skin of what I thought I was, of how I thought life was supposed to be, of what I thought success was. And each skin, almost like layers of the onion, reveals a deeper honesty and a deeper humanity. And with each skin, with each layer, we kind of come back to ourselves and back to what's most important and to what's kind of real that we've forgotten. And it's very humbling. it's very humbling, and it's very initiatory, and it takes something to not to reimagine ourselves, but to be reimagined over and over again. And that feels like it's the devotional path, the path of being reimagined. And to let go of what needs to be let go of, to be reimagined, to kind of take an even more honest form, to let go of those things, those pieces, those ways of living, those ways of being, those ideas of what success is or how I'm supposed to look, how I'm supposed to be, that were kind of part of the last skin shed. And these last, since we've been together, and then particularly through the global initiations, we've had to let go of skin after skin and really be. Another metaphor is the river. You know, the river is going to take us to all the places that we never knew we had to go, and that idea of being led, being kind of swept up, and letting ourselves be kind of moved by a current that we don't control actually, but we have faith and trust that it's going to lead us everywhere that is true. That's faith, that's honest humanity, that's actually being moved by creation. And it really asks a lot, to kind of let the arms soften from swimming in any kind of direction, and to let the current take us towards ourselves actually. And it's within it, and I'll pass it to you in a moment, but within it is this bow to the intelligence that is looking after us, and it's a bow and an honouring of the intelligence that is a part of us, but also far beyond us.
I didn't mean to touch you for
I thought that was like, no. You're going on too long.
No, I was just magnetised to your knee.
Oh, that's very sweet of you. I've been working on those knees.
Yeah, I really liked everything you just said then. And it was making me connect to this experience of realizing that my life isn't about me. Like, I used to think that my life was all about me and my individuation and my liberation, and it is, but there's sort of a paradox to it, because my liberation is actually about what I'm here to serve and open to and be humbled by. And the reality of that is that it will always take me outside of my own box of how my life should look, how I should be feeling, the direction that I'm moving in. And I feel like I'm always being asked to become more selfless and surrendered to something greater that is me, but is beyond my own little identity and bubble of reality. It feels like it opens me to a devotion that is far beyond myself, but is so exquisitely for me, beyond my wildest dreams. And as you were saying, I think it is such a courageous path to choose that, and to keep choosing it over and over again, and to keep being disillusioned and having your preferences laughed at by creation. It just takes so much courage, and I don't think everyone will choose it, but also it's here for us to choose.
Yeah, I'm really feeling that, the willingness in that courage, and like the willingness to shed the skin, the willingness to be moved, to be led, to become something that we didn't even know, or we didn't vision, we didn't goal plan for ourselves, or say this is how it's supposed to look or who we're supposed to be, but rather something that is even more honest and even more ripe than that. And as you were speaking, I was really feeling how we can't consciously slot ourselves into the ecosystem of life. It's not something that we can kind of work out how I'm going to fit into the ecosystem of life this way. It's this deep listening and letting ourselves come. Some might call it surrender, some might kind of call it finding our way to the flow of creation, finding our way into relationship with all things as we are, as we already are. And it's a being worked, it's a being kind of molded, it's an introduction to the ecosystem. And so we're actually learning about ourselves. We're not kind of projecting ourselves onto creation, onto the ecosystem. This is who I am, but it's actually like how does this being fit into this web, and how am I being asked to organically, naturally, innately emerge into life? And can I let myself do that, be that, come into the ecosystem organically, rather than trying to be like, okay, I want to do this, boom, there we go, whatever it takes, next 20 years, that way. No, that's not how you find your way into right relation and into genuine intimacy and genuine relationship with life. We have to allow ourselves to drop down into what we've always been, into the most deeply honest forms of ourselves, and the most deeply honest roles that we're here to kind of naturally, innately fulfill. And that's part of how we find our way into the ecosystem. That's part of how the ecosystem that's always here kind of welcomes us. You're back. You've realized you have a place. Of course you do. Come be in this interdependent exchange with us. So got a little Aquarian there, but it's kind of all about coming back to this essentiality and innateness that it takes a letting go, a surrendering, and a faith to meet truly, actually, genuinely, not just with the mind, not just with a projection of it, but to genuinely drop into the root of the thing that we are within creation, within the ecosystem of life. Yeah.
I feel like I'm getting activated by your stuff. I'm like, whew, yeah.
Just turning that quadruple Aquarian up.
And I was also thinking about, do you feel complete?
No. Yeah, I feel good.
Like our line 6s, like we've really had to learn those lessons of letting go over and over again.
Yeah. It's all about that.
Yeah. And also something really landed in what you said around like the listening and how that really takes something, and it takes a real somatic sensitivity actually to really hear and feel where we're being asked to go and when actually we're pushing and coercing something. It takes a real somatic sensitivity and an opening and a descending and softening, like on the inside first, to even be able to hear and fine tune to that current of creation that's always trying to lead us and call us back to wholeness and bring us into right relationship. And I feel like that is a really big core piece of what we're bringing through in Becoming Human, is those of us that are on the path of sharing our medicine, incarnating into our essence. One of the rites of passage is to become somatically attuned, to become supple enough to hear and feel the way that creation is leading us and where it's calling us to go. Because it's not something that our mind can ever comprehend or grip onto. It's only something that we can feel, experience, and listen to.
Yeah, for me it feels like it is the honesty that lives beyond the projection of ourselves. Like the deeper honesty, the honesty of attuning to what's already here, actually, of coming into listening with the isness.
Intimacy.
Into intimacy with the isness. Yeah. Intimacy with life.